Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to Anno, and in this case we're looking at Tabrim right away because I've changed a few things as of the last episode. So first of all, we lost the island, right? We lost it rather quickly and I was not able to autosave this one back again. So in this case here, I've settled it again, right? So loaded a previous save and sent in the warships immediately. I was expecting of course some faster attack from his hunt, but not that fast. So in this case, now we have a bunch of battlecruisers here too, together with my Barnacle, my cargo ship that already delivered quite a few weapons over. The problem with the weapons is, yeah, tier 1 defenses in Tabrim, they're just not gonna cut it. No one is afraid of mounted guns, honestly. Not even me, and I'm of flesh. Now, in this case, we continue with my linseed farm. We actually finished this at some point, but I was just going now all the way back here, since we also purchased some monster timber. So I can immediately go to this area here, right? Because you need to build 2 bridges for that. Each 20 tons of timber, which makes the whole thing very expensive. And in this case, we can now safely go ahead and add here then our canal system, right? Together with a proper warehouse then somewhere, and then we can just add a lot of linseed farms now. In this case, number 1, we're gonna need, I think 4 would be very sufficient, right? And oh, wait a second, we should be able to make this one. Oh, it's a square, interesting. Since it's a square, we can go all the way up here and add just this one here again to that area, right? And with that, save us even more space. So we got those, and then I would like to have another one here. There's another river slot that we will need to take into consideration for all of this. And I can have even another one here, right? And then a bunch more here. But that's the 4 that we have already now. Look at the workforce we have just out of these few houses there. We're gonna have then the linen mill, and I'm probably gonna have them here once again. So here is a bigger industry zone where we already also have the dried meat production now ramping up. For this, we have the dried meat with the Sanga farms, so we actually need 2 of them, right? If I wanna make this work to feed my people. And then close to this warehouse here, I'm going to add now my linen, and we do need, 1 linen for 2 embroiderers. So I can safely squeeze in 2 of them together, right, to make it a block of 4. And that's way too much anyway, right? But then we have the embroiderers that we can have then on the other side.
There is a matter I will discuss with you pertaining to the Empire at large.
Right. And with that, we can also finish this production right away with 2 of them. Want to push to tier 2 as quickly as possible. Okay, there's Hugo again. And if you remember, he ignored us last time. He didn't help us out. And now he comes by peacefully and no mishunt at the moment. Well, in Sleepy Hollow, we continue in the meantime with the biggest development so far that I've been promising for a while now. And that is, of course, upgrading to skyscrapers. Let's start with the first ones right here in the center. And takes a bit of time to load in, it seems. Do we have skyscrapers? Well, actually we do have them here somewhere, lurking around. And Danny is coming in again. Where are my skyscrapers? There they are. Holy cow, that took quite some time to load in. Alright, we also have the engineers here, but I would like to upgrade the engineers first. There's this one here, like some electricity. Alright. Takes me by surprise. And then we have the inner ones, they probably also lack the electricity. And let's go ahead and upgrade these guys. And then also on the other side, right? I want to spread this out a bit. So some more people there. As, the city is changing again. With all of those beautiful skins that the game has in store for us. And then also over here, a bunch of engineer skyscrapers that we can also then upgrade further, by the way, if we want to. We can also just go ahead and upgrade that to investors then as well. By the way, there's now something I would like to check out. And there's this really cool feature. If you click on them, you can customize the skyscraper. And you can actually, look at that, move and change the look of the upper side of the skyscraper. So depending on where it's looking, right? I mean, this looks more massive. I like it. Depending on where it looks, it's adjusting itself then to the surrounding area. for that. Yeah, this looks pretty neat, I think. The skins also take over from the Vibrant City DLC, right? So these are very colorful skyscrapers. Adds quite a bit of density now to the city here in the center. And of course, more demands with that. With that, we have now all the way over here in the investor tab, the new edition of the department store, for example, which is, I think, the first demand already. Yep, it is. Problem is I need to pay quite a few construction materials again because some of my very high or expensive industrial buildings blew up. I actually went ahead and downgraded them again, and we're gonna upgrade them to investors first because I reckon we don't need engineers in the center. Brings me to the question, there is definitely something planned here, so we will need to move that district away then. Yeah, with those upgrades we're at a 270 influence, 106,000 population, and yeah, 400,000 on the income there. Though it's been higher before, the rum is gone again, but that's something that we've been used to for a while now. Alright, so in this case, we have now the new needs for these skyscrapers. Of course, we want to push some of them to the next levels then. And the first level is rather easy. It just takes the department store really, right? So that's this building here. It hasn't gotten the biggest range, unfortunately. So we'll need to build more or less one here. And then another one over here somewhere to get most of these people in. The department store is big and it will then also be accommodated by a furniture store. And I'm probably gonna move, let's just see, either one of these. You know what? It always makes sense, you know, age of capitalism. Getting rid of the church here to get the department store in makes sense. Let's have that church somewhere else for now. I think also there's a pub here. We certainly don't need a pub there anymore, right? And we can move probably, very good, that town hall. I mean, up there it's also quite tricky. I want to keep those blocks intact though. They look too nice. Probably gonna move the block just down here. It still has a lot of people in its range. And with that we can make room here for something bigger now. Still have those two engineer blocks. I think one we could move down here, or actually both of them. We have this road there, but we can also have the road on this side, making the connection. Because, let's face it, this is really city center. I want to have this one dense, right? And if some people need to look at the fumes right away, they don't mind. Because they have a flat in the center of Sleepy Hollow. And they take quite a lot into consideration there. Let's move this one down. And with that, we have a bit of space now that we can use, right? Because department store is number one, but this of course comes then with the furniture store. So let's have this one. I mean, this would fit really nicely, like so, or like so. But we're gonna have another building here too, so let's have it like so. Yeah, takes the whole in. Might actually make a little plaza in front of it. This looks a bit cramped right now. Plus we have a double road coming up here already that I can move down, and then over here. Do we have the furniture store already? No, we don't. Let's build it. Department store number one. And let's go ahead. Electricity should be provided. Get ahead with the toaster as my first good. The toaster has input that we already have, right? That's the steel, that's the filaments, and that's the zinc. And as we can see, we do get a bonus happiness, income, and also a reduction in consumer goods, which is great, especially since those two goods are rather expensive for us. So let's select this one. Gonna take a while now for this to work, especially since we need probably a bit more zinc. And where is my zinc mine? Because I'm pretty sure we're gonna need more, even though, if you remember, we have a nice brass production, but we import it, right? So I should not consume that much zinc. I'm not. We have a surplus. Very good. That's the toast surplus now. By the way, no, the toast is already calculated in, right? So that's that. Filaments is the other problem, and this is a bigger problem because this needs coal again, and we have a huge demand of filaments there. So I don't know if we can get this right. I mean, we are importing the coal. Things are just so wacky at this point with all the production chains you have that sometimes you can get lost. Where's my filaments? We do have them still on the island, right? Yeah, down there. We have a bunch of filaments still. We are boosting them already with ferrous and electrification. This is not good. We could change the input of light bulb factories to something else than filaments. That would be an option we have. And up here, I do not have my trade union working at the moment. Alright, we're not boosting the filaments by 50% yet, so let's do this with the working condition. And this leads now to almost equality. And don't forget, the toaster is already calculated in, right? With that, we are at least on par with something. I'm still gonna go ahead and get me more filaments here. Yeah. Another one here is electrified. To have a slight surplus of this. And there's our light bulb factories. I continue, by the way, to purchase shares here from Miss Hunt. That's another 20,000 we get. The share value increased to 21,000. Immediately we continue also with M-Besa because I want to continue now upgrading. So let's go ahead and do this with the first waves to get us the elders in. Age of Community we have started. And with that, finally we open up the mud bricks production. That is something we absolutely should get going. We have the TEF fortunately available here. And yeah, we need at least 2. I would be more happy with a 3 though, to get me at least 3 mud bricks going. So we should be able to squeeze them in here. They're pretty huge. There you go, number 1. Then we got this one all the way up here. Perfect. We would even have room for more up there then. Let's get this one a bit further down. And then we need the clay collector, and this one just needs a river slot, and this one's producing 4. So we already have a slight surplus now with that. I just love the N-Basin buildings, really. So warm in color. And cozy looking. Alright, and with that, we only need now 3 mud or brick dry houses. And I'm gonna finish those here. They're also now working. And now we need the 3, and I'm gonna push them into my, or build them in my industry zone. Right over here somewhere. Let's make a cut. Another warehouse. And then I can use them here. Yeah, let's make this block of 4. Just in case, if we want to expand in the future then for these. Alright, we're also sailing to Lighthouse already. Get a bit of a reward out of the latest quest. And this one gives me, yeah, a peace mode. So this is a white flag that we once again can use. On top of that, it also boosts the movement speed of the ship. That is something the white flag does not do. Alright, shop around for the Research Institute proposals. We are already there. That's very good. You can make some progress if you're just skipping through everything. And yeah, let's have a look at that. That's certainly not it. That's also not it. Nah, that's the one. Someone finally thought of a tower. The riddle we've also solved rather quickly. He's talking quite a bit. He's also a talker, that one. I would really like to get now my mud bricks going. 3 of them. There you go. Get us the new construction material in right away. And look what the elders are capable of. The elders, they do have the coastal torpedo launcher and the armor piercer tower. And they have also a big batty available. Yeah, the elders know how to protect themselves. What do we need for this? Surprise enough, we already have everything that we need, except some mud bricks. Also, you need that. You need soldiers, once again, in Tabarim. For now, my battle cruisers will do just fine. But of course, we will need to get this going soon. I would like to start by upgrading my trade house now, once we have the mud bricks. And we should be able to purchase some at this point. Yes, there's 20 waiting. Let's continue with providing a bath for the Emperor by cleaning up debris. That's why we came for. And then also, once again, we have the next riddle here, Domisotila, that we need to, yeah, click on the goats here. There you go. And we also sang with the goats. Just what we wanted. And now comes the RG, the good old pal. And he wants to, yeah, find his lost love.
I've heard court musicians less
Let's get my ship over there. I'm gonna send, actually I'm gonna send my cargo ship over. It's the white flagship.
and
I continue with Eli right away, so we're jumping around a bit. That's just absolutely necessary. And Blue Sky Delivery Service, there it is, 2 million. And this guy is really cool because it affects all the skyscrapers we have. And every skyscraper resident that has a department store, furniture, or the drugstore need fulfilled are provided with chewing gum, billiard tables, and violins. And theoretically, that means if we have enough of them, we don't need these products at all, which is just really cool because these are very complex products and we can save a lot of space with that. Now look at that, there's number 2. I think we're gonna need at least 3 of them. And oh, there's also the power plant explosion chance reduction. There's number 3. They're really not rare. Since I'm on a roll, let's go for number 4, but that's it then. I certainly will not need more than 4. Each one of them also cost me 2 million, so that was quite a steep cost, but it's definitely cheaper than having those productions going. Since we need a lot more steel, I could also go with my general foreman here. This one gives me a passive production of steel beams for every 5th ton of bricks that we produce. And we produce a lot of bricks. I think that's a good haul that we have. Let's get them back. And that's also, you know, with the town hall, look at that. So if we upgrade these guys here to skyscrapers, all of them will then have a nice fulfillings there with goods. And then we also have these tiny town halls now that I'm also gonna, of course, spread throughout the city. We can have another one then here, even though that seems a bit wasted. I could have one here, that looks better. So I'm gonna move this one even further down, as we really don't need that. Space is really an issue here in the center. But that's for every city. How very realistic. So once again, by moving a bunch of buildings around, we are able to squeeze in another trade union just here for all of this, right? And that's a lot of skyscrapers now that we affected, and that a lot of skyscrapers that already have the department store fulfilled as well. And now we just get our Blue Sky Delivery people and push them into my first skyscraper district here. By the way, we could also upgrade these guys here to really maximize the yield of this one. And then, of course, upgrade a bunch more. Okay, need a bit more champagne. Lovely. And with that, immediately, once they upgrade to tier 2, we already provided them with the goods they need for tier 3 on the skyscraper scale. On top of that, since it's a lot of people, we could give them another bonus. Yeah, champagne consumption reduction. I like that. To further lower my demand for that, because champagne will remain a massive problem throughout the game, unfortunately, since we do not have any kind of grape import or production possible for us. So up here we do have our concrete factories, also electrified as it is. Oh, yeah, some of them are on fire. Let's build me another one here. We can safely squeeze in. Very good. And now I would like to move a bunch of things around again. So here we could have a nice area for the brick factories. Let's move the police station down here. How nicely it fits in. Oh, by the way, up here on the plateau you always have a beautiful view of a city in the making. And now what we can do, we can take the brick factories, move them up here, trying to squeeze in as many of them as possible. I will probably need to... it's just this one tile again that is not working. It's always one tile, right? Yeah, I need to rectify this. So I'm gonna move this one step up and this one step over. Oh, we need to move this one. We need to move this one and this one, and we're destroying a bunch of things in the process. There you go. So we can squeeze this in, and this one needs some fields again, but space here is really not the issue. And this one has everything that it needs. With that, they're working again. And with that, we can now have our blocks of brick factories here. Like so. And like so. Now, let's check this out. We need another trade union. Of course, you know, that's always 20 influence, but we do have that. And I'm trying to take in as many of them as possible now. Actually, I think I'm gonna move this one down perhaps a bit. And get us now, first of all, the Faraz Al Sarami guy in. This is boosting them now. The next step is then that we get the Ferhat, the Experience Builder, another 40%. It would actually provide electricity to those buildings. I like the 40% though, right? And then we have this one, all brick factories and the concrete factories produce steel beams on top of that. Let's check it out how much this actually is then. So we have 20 in production right now. And with this item, 24. So that's 4 tons more per minute now, just out of this item here that we produce, without having to use a single tile of space, right? And in that case, we still have this one here that I can perhaps still squeeze in somehow. Might be a good idea to move the saltpeter factory somewhere else entirely. And we still have this tiny bit of space up here available for us that we can use for that. Right, and there is a second warehouse now. Let's upgrade both of them. They already seem a bit overloaded. And now we have our, saltpeter up here, continuing to produce happily. And this gives me even more room now to work my magic here with the brick factory. So I think we still have another one. Oh wow, we have a lot of brick factories. Didn't even realize how many we have. And all of them can be now happily boosted. Pushing now steel beams also to 26 tons. Perfect. Finally, we can upgrade again. Oh no. For a second we could upgrade. What's missing now? It's still the champagne. We continue with more storyline in Anbesa because we are in the final stretches to our Scholar district. Now, if we want to fortify Tabarim, which of course we want to at some point, we need to get the soldiers in. And for this, we need to once again make a soldier district. Where should we have it? I'm not expecting too many soldiers as they're only here for defensive purposes. So that would incline, or that would actually, nice, mud bricks. I was expecting bricks now. So we need to get them in here with a bunch of services that we provide. Also, there is this really cool and basin outpost. Look at that. It's even a custom building. Fantastic, really. So let's get this one somewhere here, I guess. Or difficult. Or at the end of this main road here. I would also like this. Let's go ahead and have them at the end of the main road. This is actually something that's prone to being attacked from time to time. So it makes sense to me to actually not have it now, right? And have it a bit further inside. Otherwise it's getting destroyed continuously. Yeah. Thank you very much for this. Triple roads just don't work with any kind of layout in this game. The meme continues, so let's have this one somewhere else with a double road. I'm just gonna have then here that road coming in, right? So there it is, very good. And now we can have those soldiers, those encampments left and right of it on our way to the spawn. By the way, then also with a canteen. And also, is that the only service building we need? The Navy Recruitment Office is probably another one that I would like to have here. There you go. What's the range of it? It's pretty big. Nice. So we're just gonna make then a block here, and around that we're just gonna add then more of these. Over here. A full block of military personnel over here. I certainly do not want to have a bridge there. Thank you very much. And that's it. The sails are already in, so we can immediately build them. And there we got the Unbasin ones. I just love this mod. It even adds custom assets to the Unbasin world, right? With their own trees. And their own custom texture on the ground texture. Lovely looking, this one. Yeah, and that's of course the Imperial forces coming in, showing who's the boss of this one. Let's just have a bunch more here. And that's the people now coming in. Do they need the canteen service right away? So first of all, they need dried meat and goat milk. Perfect. So we can immediately satisfy that. And base and outpost and canteen, both of them are required, in fact. So I'm gonna have the canteen and then the base and outpost as well, right over there. Comes with its own wall, so I don't need to add another wall around that or so. Ah, beautiful, really. Look at the canteen. I like this much more than the old world style, the old world building. That's a beauty right there. Gotta say that. Fantastic work overall. And that, of course, also satisfied them. So we do have some soldiers now. Soldiers that we can use for our defenses. For this we need then once again the small ammunition depot that provides then the weapons. And I would like to have the armor pierce tower. Right, over 40 soldiers for each one of them. That's a lot. But we can already build one. So let's do this. Right. And then we can also check what it needs. It needs the shell ammunition. So that's the... Wait a second. Small shell? Not a normal shell. So it's shell ammunition. This one here. That's another 50 soldiers just out of that single building then. That we're gonna add here. With its own road connection, of course. So that's then the right building for the job. In the meantime, my ship has arrived over here because I would like to settle another island real quick. We need to be about this one because we really just need a few tons of indigo, right? There is unfortunately no basic workforce coming, so I'm just gonna add me a bunch of these houses here, right? And then we're just gonna add now my tapestry, my indigo plantation 1 and 2. That should already be enough. Actually, we could have a third one here. Yeah. We're gonna lose this island again. I have no illusions about this one, right? We're gonna lose it again. So I just quickly wanna build them. We're gonna push them, get the penalty, live with it. And just gonna add a bunch more buildings here until we have enough for the workforce. Might provide at least a marketplace though, so we'll need to get more wood over. Not because we really need it, but because it belongs here. The Naval Recruitment Office. This needs to look into this direction. It has its custom entrance here. Fantastic buildings. I really love it. Nice work there. And I'm gonna finish those, and this one. And with that, our little and basin military district has already been finished again. With most of the demands already met, in fact. But we don't need to upgrade them. It's all about the workforce. And workforce is something that's coming in right now. So I can then build me that once we have 40 mud bricks to really start defending this island here with what we have available. Finally, some more upgrades, especially the engineers over here to investors and more engineers here to investors. We still have 8,000 that we can upgrade, and we do have lots of building materials again. I just always love it when I work on some other part of the game, and when I come back, we're full again and we can continue with some development. Yeah, with that, we're 320 influence again, so already got all the influence back that we spend on the trade unions. And then there's a bunch more here. There's still some... I'm still thinking about these guys here. Should we upgrade them or not? I think for now I like to keep a row of artisans there before my skyscrapers begin. Or before my investors begin, as a matter of fact. These guys. And then we also have still a bunch of artisans that we can continue upgrading. Since we have so many of them, might make sense here then. Very nice. So the whole inner city is starting to look like something now. There's more. So this whole row is finished. These guys, very good. And these guys probably need something that I do not provide. Soap. I refuse to believe that we are running out of soap. We are. So we'll need to reinforce that. So far so good, waiting for some more materials in beta now, and then we can produce the tapestries for unlocking the Scholar District. All of that in the next episode, but yeah, Skyscrapers was already a nice milestone. Now we want to push the tiers, and we can only really do this with very, very heavy usage of items, because I simply do not have the space for anything else. Or we conquer something, we'll just see. Stay tuned.
The drums of war can be